Hey, it's Joy. I finally got my car updated to FSD Beta version 11.4.2, and I have noticed some improvements versus the previous V11 updates, which I did not like. So today I'm actually going out to the event with my friends, and I'm gonna take you guys out on the trip with me and see how 11.4.2 performs. But basically, I've noticed that on city streets, the route planning is getting a little bit better. Not 100%, but I would say maybe like 20 to 30% of improvements with regards to if you're making a left turn and then immediately you have to make a right. It knows to actually, sometimes, not all the time, to get into the right lane after it turns left instead of turning onto the left and then move over, which a lot of times I may miss that turn because of LA traffic building up. Also, they fixed the HOV lane in the previous versions on the freeway. So now I'm opt out of getting to the carpool lane, and it does not take me into HOV lanes anymore. At least I haven't noticed that. Another thing that they fixed was also on the freeway. If you watch the previous V11 drive video, you would remember that I was complaining that the car, when it curves, it would hug the lanes, the lane markings, just too tight, and sometimes you will actually be driving on the lane markings and it will scare the cars next to me, not trucks, just regular cars, like, why are you coming all the way here? There are people on Twitter that argue with me saying that, oh yeah, you know, when you're driving and it's curving, there's the apex and it's just natural. Listen, I'm not on the racetrack, so I don't care about apex. I just want my car to stay dead center when it's driving. And especially when it's on the freeway, when there are a bunch of cars around me, I just don't want people to think that my car is veering to their lane. So stay dead center. And it looks like so far that 11.4.2 has fixed that issue. So anyway, enough talking. Let me take you out on the drive and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we are gonna get on the freeway in a little bit, and we're going to downtown Santa Monica. If you are familiar with Santa Monica, especially downtown, the Promenade area, you might know that it's actually a very dense area with tourists and pedestrians and cars, especially on weekends, and today's Saturday. So this will be a great test to see how FSD Beta V11.4.2 really performs in real urban congested traffic, LA traffic, and see what else they need to improve on. Okay, the car needs to get over to that lane so I can get on the freeway, but it's trying to turn way too late. It should have came to that lane way before, but thankfully this car behind me, it was going a little bit slower, so I'm able to cut over. However, most of the time, people in LA, the drivers, will not be as nice, and I may miss this on-ramp onto the freeway. Just wanted to point that out. So again, this is route planning issue. FSD Beta is performing fine, but somehow it's not fully integrated with route planning just yet to anticipate upcoming turns and exits and whatnot, so that when the car knows within maybe quarter of a mile that the car needs to make a left or right, the car should be able to go over to the corresponding left or right lane according to the upcoming turns from the navigation. So that's one thing that I have been stressing for a while in my test drive videos, that Tesla needs to improve on route planning to anticipate upcoming turns. All right, now we need to go over to the left to avoid getting on the wrong freeway, so you can keep it at the same freeway. And I'm going to increase the speed. Just for reference, I am set on assertive mode without the minimal lane changes. And there's a bit of a curve here on the freeway, and the cars stay dead center, which is great. And when the car is going to pass this truck, you'll see that it's starting to go just ever so slightly away from that lane, which is a great improvement. It's much more natural and much more human-like, and it's not so abrupt like before, where it would go all the way. Sometimes I could hear my tires on the lane marking on the other side. So this version, they fixed this and improved upon it. And this freeway doesn't have HOV lane, so I'm not able to show you the correction. But I can tell you, as I mentioned in the introduction, that I haven't had any issues with the car going into HOV lane when it's opted out. And again, there was a tiny curve just now, and here goes another curve, and the car is staying dead center, just like V10 and the prior versions of FSD and Navigate on Autopilot, which is awesome. Yeah, so these two lanes are slowing down because they're going to downtown Santa Monica. And it's pretty much like this every weekend. Also, if you're wondering why it's cloudy today in Santa Monica, it's because we have what's called May gray and June gloom every year. So the marine layers would come on shore during the month of May and June, pretty much every single year. So if you're expecting sunshine, not today, although yesterday or the day before it was gorgeous. So just a little, okay, so there's abrupt stopping in front of me, and I heard tires screeching behind me. I think 2-3 cars behind me wasn't paying attention. And so yeah, like I said, this is real life, like real scenario, congested, busy urban traffic test of FSD Beta. And human drivers, sometimes they don't pay much attention, or they just react too slowly. That's how they will cause accident. But my car anticipated that stop, all the abrupt stop up ahead, and it acted accordingly, which is awesome because the car is keeping me safe.
Now take exit 1A on the right. In 500 feet, keep right at the fork. Now keep right at the fork. In 500 feet, bear left onto 5th Street.
Another thing I had complained about in the previous FSD Beta drives is that when the car stops, the gap between my car and the car in front of me is just way too much. So I am going to help it just a little bit. Oh, not this time, because then it would not stop. But here in LA, you do need to keep a shorter distance, because a lot of times other cars will just like cutting right in front of you at the very last second, and it is very, very startling, and a lot of times it would cause an accident as well. So I'm going to inch forward just a little bit so that it's not going to be like last time where you're just going to accelerate. And the car, I think, is supposed to go on 5th Street, which is curving out here, but the car isn't, because there are cars in front of me. So the car should have been able to just kind of come over a little bit and recognize that I had enough space to even like go over the lane marking a little bit and then leave that traffic. But again, FSD Beta algorithm is following the traffic rules to the T, so it's not able to detect that like what human drivers do. So hopefully one day the algorithm will be able to become more human-like. And now I am actually driving here in the yellow, which is fine because it's detecting that the traffic is building up at the left turning lane. Again, we're about to entering a really busy area. A lot of pedestrians. I don't know if you can see, but there's a bunch of people at the intersection waiting to cross. And I'm going to inch forward a little bit, just shorten the distance between my car and the car in front of me. And it is just the way that people in LA and urban area and congested metropolitan area, this is how we drive. So I've gotten comments from people saying, oh no, you know, you should have kept that distance. But I'm like, you never lived in LA and driven in LA day in and day out before, so you don't know what it's like. That we need to get all the cars in the lane as much as we can so that we don't block traffic and we won't slow down the traffic flow even more. So hopefully Tesla will update the algorithm to be able to shorten the distance between the stopping distance between my car and the car ahead of me. And now there's like a bunch of pedestrians crossing on the left hand side and I need to turn left. So this is an unprotected left turn, and car is stopped in the middle of the intersection, and now I'm actually kind of blocking the intersection. So this is not a good demonstration, and the car, like, now I have to, like, oh, they're like pedestrians, sorry. So yeah, so again, this is real life scenario at a very congested area, and see how FSD Beta performs. And this is what I had to do. This is what I have to do a lot of times, is to disengage or try to help it a little bit. And there's a white Model 3 right behind me that like came after me, so I had to move forward just a little bit so that that car can come in and not blocking the intersection. So again, the stopping distance between my car and the car in front of me, yeah, I need to come to this left side. So I don't know why I went to the right. It was hesitating. So yeah, again, that needs improvement. And now again, it's just a really wide gap between my car and the car in front of me, so I had to help it a little bit. And I'm actually accelerating, and okay, I had to disengage there because the car needed to come over to turn into this parking structure, but the last second it tried to get out of this lane for some unknown reason. So I had to disengage, and hopefully someone at Tesla can take a look at that footage and figure out what was wrong with the algorithm. I am back from the event that I was attending. As you saw, that is pretty typical of my normal usage of FSD Beta here in LA area, with congested traffic, with pedestrians and urban area in general. I have to say that V11.4 has gotten a lot better. It's a lot smoother compared to version 10 and even version 11.3 variants. So I am really hopeful. I'm still hopeful. I know I say this in every video that FSD Beta will just get better and better and better. And I really wish someone at Tesla is watching this video so that they can fully integrate the navigation and route planning with the FSD Beta algorithm so that it will really behave more human-like on the road. So thank you so much for coming on this trip with me. I will see you in the next video. God bless.